Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Danica and I'm the Fit Mom Lifestyle on Instagram, LTK, and TikTok. And today I am back with probably the most highly requested video on my channel, and that is an Oura Ring follow-up video. So about a year ago I did my initial video where I unboxed my Oura Ring. I talked all about pricing, sizing, why I bought it, what my intentions were for it, and I said I was going to do a follow-up video. Initially I thought it would be within 1 to 3 months, and it's been a year, so needless to say this is long overdue. But I really wanted to take some time with the ring and really, you know, gather my thoughts, gather some data, see what I think about it. And so I am back almost a year later with a follow-up on this ring. And as you can see, I'm still wearing my watch, I'm wearing my ring, so good news there. We've got some updates. But if you're excited for this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I come out with lots of new videos every single week. I come out with vlogs, hauls, lots of fitness related stuff, lifestyle, family, all the good things. So if you love that kind of content, please be sure to stick around, and let's get into the update. Alright, so before I get into my specific update about the Oura Ring, I just wanted to mention that with Mother's Day coming up, obviously the Oura Ring is a really great gift idea. I think any mom would love it, anybody would love it, really. But I also wanted to share how I like to accessorize my Oura Ring, because I wear my Oura Ring all the time. I'm going to get into it a little bit more here. And today I specifically want to share with you Ana Luisa, because I love my Ana Luisa pieces and I think they pair really, really great with my Oura Ring. So first of all, on my left hand, I have my Oura Ring, which again, I'll talk about that in a little bit, and then my wedding ring. And then on this side, I have this new ring from Ana Luisa, which I just think is so beautiful because obviously the Oura Ring is gold. My wedding stack is silver, or, you know, white gold. And then this is kind of a combo of the two. I've got some gold, I've got some little stones on there, and I just think it looks really, really beautiful together. And then I'm also wearing an initial necklace, which is kind of fun as a mom as well. This initial necklace is the letter J, and very convenient for me. Both my husband and my son have names that start with the letter J. So is this for my husband? Is this for my son? Is it for both? Who knows? But really great gift idea for Mother's Day as well. You know, you can gift your mother or a mother in your life her initial or one of her, you know, children's initials, whatever. And I think that's a really beautiful gift as well. And then lastly, I have this really cute little earring stack on. I personally love pearls. I think they are so beautiful. So I got a little pearl for my second hole, which I love just doing like a diamond or a pearl in that second hole, or maybe just like a bar stud, which actually I have some really great hoops that I previously got from Ana Luisa that I love and get so many compliments on, so I'll link those below as well. I actually had a smaller hoop that I put in my second hole, and then a larger like twisted hoop that I put in my first, and I love that set as well. But for like day to day, I really love wearing just like a stud in that second hole, and I think these pearls are beautiful. And then this like statement earring is the coolest thing. I love this so much. Again, I think it is so beautiful, so fun. And I just love how my Oura Ring kind of like blends really nicely with these elevated jewelry pieces. It doesn't look like, I mean, I do have my Apple Watch on, but it doesn't look like I have some really intense like tracking device or anything. You know, it just looks really nice, really classy, really beautiful and elevated, and these pieces just take it to the next level. So if you are unfamiliar with Ana Luisa, they have fast and free shipping within the United States. They are an affordable jewelry line. I really love them so much. They have free exchanges if you don't love the pieces that you purchased. They are long lasting, they're tarnish free. I've worn mine actually like in the pool, just actually for like a few days on end. Like I don't always take them out, and they look really great. They've held up very well, and I'm really excited about these new pieces because again, I wear my Oura Ring all the time and they just go really, really well together. So I will have all of these pieces from Ana Luisa linked down below. Definitely check it out. I highly recommend, again, for any gift, but especially for Mother's Day. And let's get into the Oura Ring. Alright, so moving back into the Oura Ring, obviously I'm still wearing it, therefore I'm still loving it, and I am wearing it in conjunction with my Apple Watch. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here in a minute, but the short answer or if you're looking for, you know, do I still recommend this? The answer is yes. Okay, so it's a year later. I have worn this thing every single day since I initially purchased it, and I love it. I recommend it. So, like I said, I like to wear the two together. In that initial video, if you missed it, I did an unboxing. I talked about, you know, what I thought of the product when I first received it. I kind of talked about my intentions for it, and I just rewatched that video to see kind of what's changed over the year. And I do also want to mention, I got a lot of questions. I'm going to just kind of get through those quickly at the end. So if you did leave a question on that initial video, I will get to that in a little bit. But the most common question was, does it tarnish? Now, I've had this for a year. Like I said, I have worn it every single day. And I'm going to talk more about how I wear it. But I will say there are a few scratches. You can see there actually pretty well. There's just a few scratches on it. But honestly, I think for the wear, also ignore my hands. I got some bad self tanner that has not come off. But I think it looks really good, honestly. For a year of wear and tear, I think it looks really good. So yes, it does scratch a little bit. It doesn't look as good as it did at the beginning, and my cousin just got a brand new one and I'm like, oh wow, it looks beautiful. But it also scratches more on the side where the dimple is, which is, you know, what's supposed to face the inside of your palm, was supposed to, you know, hit most surfaces. So keep that in mind, you know, depending on how you're wearing it, what you're wearing it for. I mean, it's a, you know, it's a piece of jewelry. It's going to scratch and stuff like that, but I think it's held up really, really well. So let's kind of talk about how I wear it, how I've used it, because, you know, at the end of the day, I recommend it. If you are on the fence, watch that initial video. I'll get into some more stuff in this video, but I think that this is a really great investment. I also do know that it's really blown up in the last like couple of months. I've had so many of my friends ask me about it, you know, because they all know that I've had it. I've had a lot of people kind of comment on that video over, you know, over time throughout the last year, but specifically I would say in the last like 3 to 6 months, it's really gotten more traction again. And I think it's just because this has really gained popularity. But I'm here to say I think it's worth the hype. So I need to remember which one I have. This is the Gen 3 Horizon in gold. So as I mentioned in my previous video, I invested in the most like recent version that had come out at the time, and I also knew that I wanted the just typical ring. So they do have one that has like ridges on it, and I knew that I wanted this one, and I'm really glad that I got this one because like I said, I wear it every day. It goes with all my other jewelry. It doesn't look like a tracking device whatsoever. It just looks like a really pretty piece of jewelry. So I love it. I'm so happy with it, and again, I highly recommend. So I have some notes here, and I want to make sure that I hit everything that was brought up previously. So first of all, there is a subscription. So like I mentioned in my initial video, this was about $500 investment, and I will say depending on, you know, whichever ring you chose, it was a little bit different. So like my husband hasn't purchased one yet, but he's interested in getting one, and the one that he wants is like $50 cheaper. So it depends on the color, it depends on the style. So there is some variety there, but just, you know, keep in mind it's around $500. And again, most, I would say, you know, a lot of fitness or activity trackers kind of are ballpark in that range. So I would say it is fairly priced. And again, I think for what you get out of it, I think it's worth it. I also do pay $5.99 a month for all the data in the app. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure if you can not, I mean, I guess you just wouldn't have access to all the data, but I don't see, like, if I'm gonna have the Oura Ring, I'm going to have the subscription. So I don't think you would be able to see anything without that subscription. So just keep that in mind. It's $5.99 a month to just see everything. So I love what you know, the information that I get from the Oura Ring and the app. Now, they are constantly updating. There's constantly new features. They're constantly adding new things. I wrote down just a few that really stood out to me, or things that have really made a difference for me. One, they analyze your stress, so your daytime stress. They look at that, and then eventually, after that was out for a little bit, then they started to analyze your resilience, which showed how you recover from your daytime stress. So your nighttime recovery from your daytime stress. So, you know, they kind of like just, the updates build on each other, which is really, really cool. And then initially when I first got the ring, I bought it because I wanted to know more about my cycle, and it integrated with Natural Cycles, which was a tracking, you know, app for women to track their cycles and where they are in their cycle. Well, Oura Ring then came out with their own, where there's now a feature where you can see your cycle just on the Oura Ring. So I actually personally no longer pay for Natural Cycles because it's all in the Oura Ring app. So I think I was paying like $80 a year for Natural Cycles. Now I pay $6 a month for the Oura Ring app, which is actually cheaper. So I get all these other things in addition to, you know, the cycle tracking, which, not to say like, you know, Oura Ring's app is better than Natural Cycles. I think they have different features and functions, but for my purposes and what I wanted to get out of it, I now get what I wanted in the Oura Ring app, so I no longer need Natural Cycles. So I love that as well. So I briefly touched on some of my favorite features of the Oura Ring app, but there are so many more. And to be honest, there are so many things that I haven't even explored yet, but I will say one of my favorite things to do in the morning is to wake up, grab my phone, update the app, like refresh it. It takes a second to refresh, and it tells me how my sleep was, and you know, if I'm ready for the day or not. And that is honestly one of my favorite things. I'm literally pulling up my app right now, and what's really cool is I'm a very active person, and the app detects any sort of like workout or, you know, change in heart rate or whatever. So like, for example, for me, it has 4 workouts detected from today alone, and it's saying, you know, one of them it's suggesting was this housework, and a lot of them, you know, a lot of the suggestions are based on what you've previously selected. So for example, that one was housework. Actually, they're all housework. So it's showing that like throughout the day for, you know, 10 minutes I burned 18 calories, you know, my heart rate went up, I was moving around, and it's saying like it was moderate, you know, a moderate activity. So that's really cool. I think it's really interesting, and something that, you know, my Apple Watch doesn't detect necessarily, but my Oura Ring does. So again, as I'm looking at the app right now, it shows me my activity goal for the day. So it shows me, you know, how many calories I, you know, have set for my day. And I don't really want to show my specific app, not because I don't want to show you, but because I just don't want people to feel like to compare. You know, I don't like sharing super specific numbers like, oh, this is my weight and this is my this and that. I just don't ever want people to feel like pressured or you know, whatever. I don't want to do the numbers game. So I'm just going to tell you kind of generally, and again, it's not because I don't really care if you were to see this. I just don't want you to feel like yours is better or worse or whatever. I don't want to do that. Okay. So for me, it sets an activity goal for the day, and that activity goal is based off of like your recovery and how you're doing that day. So like some days my, you know, caloric goal, like the calorie burn goal is much higher than the day before, or vice versa. And I think, you know, it just depends on if I'm sick, if I've, you know, recovered well, if I've slept well, things like that. So for example, today, it tells me, you know, this is my baseline, this is my inactive time, this is, you know, my activity score for the day. And I'm kind of just explaining these things to you guys so you could just hear some of the features that are included. Again, it shows me where I'm at for my activity goal for the day. Then it shows your stress. So like I mentioned earlier, that was a new feature that they added, you know, within the last year, where it shows your daytime stress. And it shows like, okay, 20 minutes ago, I was stressed. I was probably scrambling, getting ready for this video. So it kind of like gives you little messages, like it's perfectly normal for your body to experience stress every day. Just do your best to balance it. And then it gives you like a little stress away breath work that you can do, which is really cool. Then it kind of goes through like my heart rate. So there's so many things you could go into, and even each of these you can click in and see more analytics. So it gives me like my heart rate, and it shows me like my resting heart rate. It's so funny because my husband was sitting on the couch one day, and this was with his Apple Watch. He was sitting on the couch, he was like dozing off, and the watch started going off, and it said that his resting heart rate was so low that they thought something was wrong with him, and he was just asleep. He's just in really good cardiovascular shape. And so the watch was saying like, attention, seek medical care. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, it just shows like your heart rate throughout the day, and it's really interesting to see it shows you on a graph, like, you know, like when I was working out, for example, my heart rate obviously was much higher as opposed to like when I was sleeping or when I'm sitting in place, whatever. Then it goes through, at least this is how my dashboard is set up as well. I just want to mention that because you know, you may have it set up a little bit differently, but then it goes through like a summary of my activity. So I went to the gym this morning. So I actually, this is probably a good point to mention here. So I use my watch for workouts. I do not wear my ring. The only time of the day that I take my ring off is when I'm working out, if I'm doing something with barbells or dumbbells. If I'm running or walking, I'll leave it on, but usually if I'm in the gym, I take off my ring. I also take it off in the shower, and that is the one time a day that I charge it. This needs like no charge time. It is amazing. Also, if I have it charged like just during the time that I shower and do my skincare, that charge can last up to 3 days. I've charged it and just kind of like kept it, you know, generally charged. It usually, like I said, charges really quick, so it's at full charge. And then if I go away for the weekend, I do not need to bring the charger. It stays charged all weekend. So it's really great. I literally only charge it for maybe 20-30 minutes a day, and it's good to go. So I love that. But also, like I was saying, I don't wear my ring when I'm working out. So I had my watch on, but I will record my workout on my watch. My watch is synced to my health app on my phone. My Oura Ring is synced to my health app on my phone. So they all work together, and I can get the analytics from both. So it's actually really cool. And you know, I've heard some people say like, I only want the watch or I only want the ring, and I totally get it. For me, my watch is for activity. My ring is for recovery. That was how I intended it to be. That is still how it is. If I'm doing an activity, I just would prefer to have a watch. And I also like having kind of like, for example, my step count easily accessible on my watch. I just like having the Apple Watch in general, like if I get phone calls or being able to check my steps or just to see the time. I like having a watch. That being said, I really love how the ring looks, and if I'm going to like a nice formal event, I'm not gonna wear my Apple Watch, but I'll wear my ring. So, you know, I think that the ring is a much nicer, more versatile tracking device. Also, I will sleep with it. You know, it's very low maintenance. And so the ring, I think if I had to choose, I would probably choose the ring over the watch. However, because of the type of activities that I do, I don't like to wear the ring for my workout. So, you know, if you just do Pilates or running or walking or something where you're not grabbing like dumbbells and barbells and things like that, then the ring's probably good. You're probably, you know, good to go with that. But for me, just because of my workouts, I prefer to wear the watch for that. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do similar workouts to me. Now, another feature that's been really cool for me is inactive time. So I really made it a point to move my body more. And just like the Apple Watch or the health app, the Oura Ring app will let you know, hey, it's time to get up, stretch your legs, do this or that. And I have those notifications turned on because I personally could use the reminder. But I've also really made it a point to be more active and just, you know, not sit for too long or you know, just take a quick walk or get up and get water, whatever. What's really cool is it says that in the last 8 weeks, my inactive time has improved. So I'm basically more active and I'm moving around more, and it's saying that I'm at a much better level for me, which is really cool. So that's something that I've been working on, and I can literally see the results in the app. Again, I'm actually really surprised that my readiness score for today is so good, because I feel like I didn't sleep great last night. It took me a while to get to bed, but it literally tells you the moment you fell asleep, the moment that you woke up, you know, your readiness level, your sleep score. Those are the two scores that I like to look at every day, my readiness and my sleep. And then, like I mentioned, it gives you your cycle insights. Do you guys see how much is on here? And I'm just quickly scrolling through. I'm not even getting deep into it. Then it gives you your cycle insights, and it says like what day you are in your cycle, when your period is supposed to start. Literally, I can click on that and it'll say like you're in your follicular phase, your luteal phase. It's really, really cool. And again, that was why I had natural cycles, and now I have it on here. So if you're trying to get pregnant, trying to avoid pregnancy, it will tell you based on your temperature, which the ring is taking all the time, you know, when you're ovulating, when you're predicted to start your period. And it does predict it because, you know, obviously if you're familiar with your cycle, your temperature changes throughout the duration of your cycle, and so by taking your temperature it can predict like your period's about to start, or you're about to ovulate, or you have ovulated. So that's really, really cool. And again, I just really love it. I just log, for example, like when I start my period, you just have to log it in the app so that it knows that you have started, although it will tell you based on your temperature, you know, that it should be period day, whatever. So it does still show that. And then again, it has resilience. I mentioned this earlier, where it analyzes your stress levels and then how you recovered from your stress. It shows your body clock and tells you what time is the best time, you know, for you to wake up and go to bed. And then there's just more like meditation and stuff like that. Now that is just the home page. There's a readiness page where you can go more into that. There's a sleep page, there's an activity page, there's a resilience page, or tab, I guess I should say. So there are so many things in this app. If you are interested in learning more about your body, if you're interested in learning more about any of those aspects, for me personally, it was just about my sleep and my cycle, and I got way more than I thought I would. Now, to be fair, I don't really like use my Apple Watch or try to use my Apple Watch to the same degree. Like I've never done a super strict like, oh, well, can I mean, I know my Apple Watch doesn't have as many features, but I guess what I'm saying is I just don't use my Apple Watch the same way. I literally hit start my workout. When I start my workout, I check the time, I answer calls, and I mean, I check my step count, but that's really all I use my watch for. So I've never, you know, if you're like, hey, I have a watch, do I need it? I think it depends on what you want it for. And again, like I said, for my, you know, sleep, for my cycle, for my activity time, you know, to track my workouts, I love it. And I think it is so cool, and I've learned so much about my body. A couple other things I want to mention is I had COVID last year. My app knew that I was getting COVID before I did, or that I had it. I don't know. My readiness score was like below 50, and it was like, are you okay? I'm like, I feel fine. What's going on? And then literally like the following day I felt horrible, and then a couple days later I tested and I was positive for COVID. So my ring knew before I did. Like my score was down before I even felt anything. So that was kind of crazy. The other thing that I want to mention, which has been really interesting for my health and fitness journey, is seeing how much alcohol affects our bodies. Now, if you're like me and you love wine, you love a cocktail, that's not something you want to hear, especially if you love fitness as well. But I will say, ever since having the Oura Ring and seeing like if I have a glass of wine too close to bed, my readiness score is just down the next day. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just crazy to see, and it's actually deterred me from drinking as much or as often as I used to. I would just, you know, have a glass of wine every night, and now I know how much that affects my body. Like I can literally see the numbers, and that's really, you know, encouraged me to think of alcohol as like a fun special occasion thing as opposed to a daily thing, which again, not trying to talk you out of anything or into anything, but I'm just saying it's been really interesting to literally see how it affects my body personally. And I'm like, wow, it's literally not worth it. Like I don't want to have a bad, you know, sleep score or a bad, whatever, recovery or anything like that because of this one glass of wine. Like it's just not worth it. So that has been super interesting as well. All right, so I was just scrolling through the questions that were on my previous video, and I actually think that I got to all of them just, you know, chatting as I usually do. I know this was a little bit more of an informal video compared to the last one, but I kind of just wanted to walk you through everything, give you my honest opinion on the Oura Ring, tell you how much I love it. I've used it every single day since I got it, so I mean, there are very few things that I've used every single day since I've purchased. I think that my cost per use, I mean, it's more than worth it in my opinion, and I absolutely love it. I've recommended it to so many people, all different ages, all different activity levels as well, because again, I think that this is so much more than just a fitness tracker. I mean, it is. So, you know, you don't necessarily need to be using it for your workouts or anything, you know, any age, you know, there's just so many benefits, I think, and so many interesting things that you can learn about yourself and your body from this ring. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I know that this was long overdue. If you have any additional questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will get back to you. And again, if you want to see more on this type of content, let me know, because I really enjoy this, and I really enjoy kind of looking through this stuff and again, just creating this content for you. So again, thank you so much to Ana Luisa for working with me on this video. I will have all the pieces that I have and love linked down below. I highly recommend, and they go so well with the Oura Ring, don't you think? I think it's pretty. It just looks so good. So thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in my next one.